Okay, one more video. This is 3:58. I've been up watching the rest of it because I could not wait until my friend and I do a marathon of the whole series Friday. I even dread the thought that August 1st I start classes again, which means getting to see her, and doing the marathon means getting closer to actually going back to school. But don't watch this if you haven't seen the end. You can see what it says up there. Don't watch this. This is just on the end of the series. Okay. The thing was, we all know that but if you, the thing is that if you've seen it, you can listen. If you've seen it to the end, you can listen. What was my point I was trying to make with this? How did Father end up the way he did? How did he end up from being, I guess I just wanted to think about this out loud. How did he end up from being, just a dwarf in a flask? It was like this blob to this guy who suddenly wanted to dominate the world and wanted to, and he wanted to, be God. I mean, how did that happen? This dwarf in the flask, which Hohenheim fed his blood to, that's how he lived. The first time, really, if you watch it, he just wanted to be on the outside world. He wanted to just be free of that flask. So the question is, how did he get from just wanting to be free of the flask to, I'm controlling the world and I'm sucking all the life out of the peace dog and mistress, and I just want to screw up anything that gets in my way and kill everyone that gets in my way, because I'm God and I have the power of God now, blah, blah, blah. So how did he end up that way? Good question. My theory is he ended up as a dwarf in the flask, Father as just the dwarf in the flask. He just wanted to be free, and he wanted to learn stuff about the outside world. The thing is, you know how the saying, knowledge is power? Well, knowledge is power, but power can also be used. Knowledge as power can be used for good and for bad. Now, some people can abuse knowledge they have, and thus the power they have, and unfortunately that's where Father went. I mean, he gained so much knowledge about the world and about things that he became, in my opinion, he became overwhelmed and thus distorted. And then he learned so much, and what happened to Xerxes, how he used it as a human transmutation to his own body. I mean, I think that getting out of the flask made him suddenly want more, and learning about the stuff. So when he wasn't out of the flask, he was still in the flask. But, I think, being with Hohenheim constantly suddenly made him want more, so much that he would, make the people, screw the people of Xerxes over and Hohenheim. I mean, he just didn't want to be out in the flask. He just decided, probably, that's what my opinion is, he decided that he wanted a body. He was going to be free. He didn't want to be a blob. He wanted to be a body. So, of course, as he took Hohenheim. He took Hohenheim's structure or something like that. I forgot how it goes. And he became a basic replica of Hohenheim, and he got a body. And so, and as a homunculus with a human body, he started, to learn stuff. And like I said, knowledge is power, and sometimes power can be corrupted and used for evil. So I think that eventually all that knowledge and power overwhelmed him, because I don't think the Father as the dwarf, little ball of black nothingness, he had never had that sort of power before. He had always been a nothing, just in this little flask, and just not been able to do anything, just stare around and talk with Hohenheim and not being able to walk anywhere. So I can't, make a direct connection of how he went from that to having his body to like being like, I'm God, I have the power of God, I want the power of God. I can only say that if the the events of getting a human body and being able to obtain and reach all this information and read it was overwhelming for a being that was initially in a flask and was just a glob. I think it was overwhelming towards him, so that it drove him to insane heights of, wanting to destroy more and become God. Like I said, I don't think there was a direct reason how he got there. I think just the power of, being out and having all that knowledge just overwhelmed him to the point of madness, where suddenly and of course he wanted to be. I mean, he probably saw what was going on with the humans, and he wanted to be perfect. That's another thing about Father. He wanted to be perfect. That's why he created the 7 deadly. That's where the 7 deadly sins came from, because, as you know, he cast them out of his body because he wanted to be a perfect human being. Because he probably knew better than anyone else, and so that might have also given him a big head and been like, yeah, I'm gonna rule everything. I don't know, just my thoughts on it. I'm not sure if they're true or not. I just was thinking about that. But those final episodes are so awesome. Full Metal Alchemist is so jam-packed with action throughout the entire series, as you well know. But it was awesome. And I enjoy watching it over again, and I'm going to enjoy watching it. Well, I'm not going to watch it from the beginning. We're going to watch it in part 2, I believe. But I'm going to enjoy watching it over again with my friend. So, that's just a few things that I was thinking about.